Okay, the general price level index is 9%. Colleagues, this is just inflation, okay? And the nominal rate of interest is 23%. Calculate the real rate of interest to two decimal places. Then, if the general price level increases to 10%, calculate the real rate of interest to two decimal places. So here we are calculating the real interest rate, meaning this nominal rate of 23%, we are taking into account inflation. So we're going to have to adjust this 23%. So, okay, this formula here, we just want to make the real interest rate the subject of the formula. Okay, colleagues, we just want to make real interest rate the subject of the formula from this. All right, so if we make real interest rate the subject of the formula, real interest rate, let's see first, let me zoom in here. Okay, real interest rate equals 1 plus the nominal rate divided by 1 plus the inflation rate, all of this in brackets, and then you subtract from 1. Okay, colleagues, this formula has just been derived from the previous formula I showed you, so do not get confused. Okay, we've just made real interest the subject of the formula. I'm just trying to move this here. Yeah. Okay, so we find our real interest rate here. So I wanted to put the formula in this format here. So this is how we find our real interest rate. All right, so we've been told our nominal interest rate is 23%. So we're going to say 1 plus 0.23. That's our nominal interest rate, 23% converted to a decimal, divided by 1 plus our inflation rate in this question was, how much was that? 9%, if I'm not mistaken. 9%. All of this subtracted by 1. So we calculate 1.23, because 1 plus 0.23, that's 1.23, divided by 1.09 minus 1. So we get our calculators and we say 1.23 divided by 1.23 divided by 1.09, that gives us 1.12, 1.128. You subtract from 1, that's going to give us 0.128. So our real interest rate is going to be, should we be negative? Our real interest rate is going to be 12.8%. That's the real interest rate. Now, as I said, if you're in, let's say it's your last day and the exam is tomorrow, and you've forgotten this formula, remember the real interest rate, RRR, just the inflation rate, the nominal rate minus the inflation rate. Nominal interest rate minus the inflation rate. So if we use this simple formula, it's just the same as saying 23% minus 9%. That gives us 23 minus 9, 14%. Okay, as I said, they'll give you values close, but this formula is the most accurate. This complicated one gives you an accurate value. Any questions before we go to the second part? All right, part B. If the interest rate increases to 10%, okay, so we still use this same formula here. Real interest rate equals 1 plus the nominal rate divided by 1 plus the inflation rate. All of these, then you subtract from 1. So our nominal was 0. Our nominal interest rate is 23%. So here we have 1.23 divided by our inflation rate 10%. So 1 plus 0.1, that's 1.1. Okay, this 1.1, I've added 1% plus 0.1. 0.1 is 10%. So 1 plus 0.1, that's 1.1. Remember, no confusion this year. So 1.23 divided by 1.1, you get 1.118. Subtract this from 1. That will give us 0.118. Convert this into decimals, that will become 11.8%. So that is the real interest rate. Okay, if the inflation rate increases to 10%, this becomes our real interest rate. Any questions, colleagues? Are we all satisfied with that?